Hey, um, I want to talk about John 10, and basically what it means to be a porter. And I think I'm going to read through the whole parable, and then um, yeah, talk about what it means to be a porter. So Jesus says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. These parables spake Jesus unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Jesus unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me if any man entereth in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is a hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scatters the sheep. The hireling fleeth, because he is a hireling, and careth not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father." Okay, so basically, there's a lot of different characters in this parable. We have for positive characters Jesus as the good shepherd, the sheep, and the porter. Um, and for negative characters, um, we have the thieves and robbers, the wolves, and I would say the hireling is a negative character too, because the hireling thinks they're protecting the sheep and they think they can face the wolf, but um, they can't because they're not the good shepherd. Okay, I'm gonna start with the hireling since I started talking about them. So basically, the way I see the hireling is somebody who is pretty much a Nicolaitan. The doctrine of the Nicolaitan means power over the people. So basically, when you have somebody standing in front of the congregation and placing themselves on top of the other sheep, that's basically a hireling who cannot stand up to the wolves. Um, a wolf is somebody whose main purpose is to um, basically destroy the sheep, hurt them, beat them. Um, and the hireling thinks that they can face wolves because they probably see themselves as a more mature believer. So basically, somebody like a pastor who sits in front, on top of a congregation. Um, but we wrestle not against flesh and blood, so when the wolf comes, you're not arguing, you're not wrestling with that person, you're wrestling with principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. And we as believers, we cannot do that. The only thing we can do is go to Christ. And what's interesting is that the way Christ deals with the wolves is by um, laying down his own life as a sacrifice and making a safe passage for the sheep. So Christ, the Good Shepherd, he's not fighting wolves either. He's laying down his life for the sheep, and he's pretty much choosing this very peaceful resolution to protect the herd of sheep. So the positive characters. Okay, well, the thieves and robbers. I didn't think about them that much. I don't know how to. Okay, I didn't focus on them that much, but they're basically people who, they don't enter the fold through Christ. So people with Christless gospels, I would say. I think they're pretty similar to wolves, but there must be a distinction. I don't know it at the moment. So the good places a believer can have is being a sheep, so a regenerated, born-again believer, or being a porter. Both the sheep and the porter know Christ, but what's interesting is that the sheep is somebody who goes to Christ instinctively because they recognize his voice and they know that if they go to Christ, they're going to receive food and comfort and protection. But the porter, I think the porter is somebody who has a knowledge of the Pauline ministry and of Pauline language, and somebody who can point other people to Christ. And what I find extremely cool, and God is so good, is that being a porter is not actually that difficult. You just have to point other people to Christ. You don't need a channel or a big ministry. You don't need to do anything fancy. Like, literally, a baby in Christ can become a porter if they point somebody who's going through something, for example, to Christ, or if they give the gospel to somebody. Being a porter is literally so easy because all we have to do is open the door, which is Christ, and point people to Christ, pretty much. And it's much easier than being a hireling, because a hireling is somebody who is pretty much getting to work and trying to be on top of other believers. That's the way I see it. And they fail at it because we only have one good shepherd. There's only two things you can do. You can just be a sheep and be fed and be pointed to Christ, or you can step in and become a porter and point other sheep to Christ. The porter is also a sheep, but it's just a sheep who got educated pretty much in the language of Christ and knows how to recognize Christ and point other people to Christ. And the reason I'm making this video is that it's really not that hard. You literally just have to point a believer to Christ and you're going to become a porter, which is the best position you can have in this parable. Okay, hope this made sense. Thanks for watching. Take care.